afternoon all. I understand it's a difficult time now. You've heard already 2 presentations. The third one, we have another hour and a half in front of us. Anyway, I will start with Apostol's opening statement. As far as you know, our goals, and that was very interesting, and I have been thinking it throughout the morning. And I will say that it is good to have, you know, skyrocketing goals on one hand, but on the other hand, and as Mr. Bouzounis' presentation showed, it is very difficult sometimes to go there. And unfortunately for our industry, the key decisions are not made by us, and this is, I would say, our fault, not others. You'll see other industries in the UN, in various committees, etc., and in governments to be more influential than our industry is. And unfortunately, we only recently managed to understand our power worldwide. And unfortunately also, we are not appreciated as we should do. Without further ado, I will start my presentation. Many of the slides you will see, the issues have been addressed by previous speakers, so I will be very, let's say, quick. And I will try also to connect, by a way, my presentation with previous ones. My presentation will not give solutions, and I will stay to what the BSM rep said before, closed his presentation beforehand, that it's only food for thought, and unfortunately the burden falls upon ship management and ship owning companies, and the rest of us insurers, such as, you know, we are service providers. We're just here to assist you, and as far as insurance is concerned, and in particular P&I, assist you, not show you the way. Unfortunately, the decisions are yours, but we are there to back up your decisions in case needed. So, okay, how do we control CO2 emissions? There are several ways. The first way is to build newer ships with newer technologies, which is something very expensive, and unfortunately to date is not, you know, certain. Shall I build my vessel to burn, let's say, methanol, ethanol, dual fuel, whatever fuel? Shall I do something? What kind of technology shall I use? And unfortunately, it is again very expensive, all those new technologies. There are several other things to take into account. You know, the easiest thing I would say is, let's say, the slow steaming. Yes, it is a solution. This actually diminishes a bit the greenhouse gases, but commercially, on the other hand, is it viable? You know, imagine all ships, you know, to reduce their speed, let's say, to, I don't know, to 50 or 60%, and then the whole supply chain will delay. You know, we are complaining now in Greece that we order a new car and we get our order in 1 year from now. So imagine if the supply chain continues to be depressed. So anyway, this is a roadmap of the avalanche of, you know, new regulations that come towards us. Unfortunately, as I said previously, these are going to be faced by ship owners and ship management companies. And the thing is that if we focus from 2023 to 2050, that most of it has already been applied since, as the previous speaker said, since 1st of January 2023, the CII and the EEXI, and we're entering now to EEDI phase 3, everything is coming towards us, and is not in the far future, it is actually in the near future. And as I said before, you know, for new building ships, you know that they have a life of 15 to 20 years. It is now the time to take a decision on how to build them, but the problem is we do not know the best solution. So, okay, what is EEXI? Is just an indicator, and actually applies to the hardware, to the ship itself. What is CII? CII is more kind of operational thing. This is actually a very simple way to calculate the CII, and the lesser the CII is, the better created the vessel will be. So it's just, you divide the annual CO2 produced mass by the distance the vessel traveled and multiplying by her deadweight. This is an example of Supramax bulk carrier. All the values you see there are medium. So let's say that the average bulk carrier, not that old, has approximately a CII of 6.77. Mr. Bouzounis, do you agree with these figures as far as classification society is concerned? I mean, okay. I don't say to do the maths as far as the consumption is concerned, and the mileage, I would say. I think it's a medium Supramax bulk carrier. So, and then we have the CII bands implied, and we have grades A, B, C, and D. And you will see in the diagram that if a vessel now does nothing, if the operator decides, the ship owner decides not to do anything about that, it will be grade D very, very quickly, and this will have impact mainly, apart from the environmental impact, of course, will have impact also on commercial side. If the ship owner, the ship manager, decides to take action now, still you will see by the diagram, in 5, 6, 7 years, still the vessel will enter the D, let's say, grade. So how can CII be changed? There are several ways, and they have medium to low to high impact. I will not go through all of them. As I said to you before, the easiest way for now and for the short term is just to reduce the speed, which is something that personally I do not agree. Of course, you have retrofits, you have to build better ships, but all those exercises, as you can see from the table there, most of them actually, they're very, very expensive. CYMEPA, this is another, let's say, regulation, another procedure, as others sent before that came on board ships, and this one since 1st of January applies to all ships more than 5,000 GT. This is a continuous process, and you have to plan it, you have to implement it, monitoring, and then, which is, I think, to my mind, which is the most difficult and most challenging part, is actually to update it and keep it updated, taking into account the various new regulations that will come, and of course the operation of the vessel as such. Connecting now to the training issues, as we all know, and it was mentioned earlier today, our industry struggles to find competent personnel, competent crew, and with all these things coming, more training has to be done, and it has to be very accurate, and those things are not simple, and for sure mistakes will happen, and this have impact, for the ship owner, detentions, and maybe the vessel cannot find charters to trade, etc. So the UTS, Ms. Ioannou mentioned that, so I will not go through that. In any case, the only thing that it is, this has been running within the aviation industry since 2005, and everything is smooth there. The problem with this one will be mainly within the charter parties, and who at the end of the day will be paying for the relevant tax, I mean the 35 to 65 euro per metric ton of CO2 consumed, so produced and consumed. So this is something that is currently being addressed, by chartering houses, and of course lawyers are involved, and the clubs as well. Of course, there is Poseidon principles, where banks, financial institutions around the world decided to finance ships with greener technology, and then of course the charterers did the same. So this is the anchorage of Singapore, and this is what fuel is being used currently. Mainly you will see that we have very low sulfur oil, some heavy fuel oil, certain LNG, etc. This is for the future. You will see many battery ships, again LNG. Actually, I think a month ago there was a conference in Singapore, and the idea of putting nuclear energy on board ships was there, and actually the audience applauded the idea. I will say the technology is here. We have been using nuclear energy on board ships since the late 60s or early 60s, when we installed them on board Navy ships, not us, I mean Americans and Russians mainly, and then French, English, etc. Of course, this is something debatable as far as the waste, the radioactive waste, etc. I will pass this on now. I will talk a bit about some contractual issues. As I said to you before, new charter parties clauses should be made, and of course we will have certain issues, especially for LNG, as far as boiling off, and how much cargo will be delivered finally to destination. Other risks, and again training comes. We have all these new fuels that are not tested that much, and we do not have so many, let's say, competent and good, well-trained crew. And I'm not pointing any fingers out, but this is the truth. We are in the same industry, so that they have to deal with that. And we as clubs, as insurers, we see all those kinds of incidents. So my time is out, and I would like to thank you very much. I hope it was not that tiring.
Thank you very much, Kostas.